our goal over this year is basically we want to stop all the anti-immigrant legislation that could potentially happen in Kansas. Then we want to move on to we're doing that right now, talking to our congressional representatives about doing the right thing at the federal level. As a matter of fact, we had someone from Senator Moran's office in the audience this morning. And so I want to make sure that our 50 people that came with us today from different parts of Kansas leave today knowing that we have to continue the fight for what we're going to do at the federal level, but that at least in Kansas, families can sleep in peace, because the raids and horrible things that are happening to our families every single day, it's really devastating, and for some of our kids, has really affected them psychologically for many years. So that what we want to leave with is that we have your support, and in our efforts to stopping anti-immigrant legislation in the state of Kansas. Do we have your support in that?
As I said at the outset, I don't speak on hypotheticals of bills. And as I've said to these guys, what I try to do with these is let's work it out privately as much as possible to deal with. So that's why I'm hedging on you, just saying, look, there's a better way to work in this state, because it's a much, people like to try to get along, and that's why I'm saying this in a way.
So when you said let's look at something positive, were we talking, that when we talk about something positive, can we try to move? That the message that has come out of Kansas, especially the last 3 years, for the nation has been, everywhere we go around the country, we hear about the extreme stances that Kansas has taken over the last 3 years.
What has passed the last 3 years?
Nothing. And that's why...
Nothing has passed?
And that's why the message needs to come...
Nothing has passed.
Nothing anti-immigrant. That's why the message that we need to turn out of Kansas...
That's pretty good, huh?
Well, the reason he says that is because we've had dialogue already, and I tell the majority of my district, 30% of it is Mexicanos de Mexico. And what I tell them is that don't confuse the Secretary of State's office with the governor's office, because they're two different elected positions. I can sit here and tell you, and I'm no sellout, and I'll tell you just like that, but I feel comfortable right now, like you said, who's next? My conversation with the governor is we got to wait and see what's next. And so we're waiting to see where these bills are in committee. Some of them may not see the light of day, but if they do, he made the offer to myself that the door is always open to come back and see what our next move would be. Right now, that would be a hard question for me to answer to my constituent base, because I got to wait and see what some of these committees do with these bills. They may not have support to fly out. And so, but I always tell my people, don't get the two Secretary of State and the governor's office, because what you say is coming from the Secretary of State's office, and it riles my community tremendously.
And that, unfortunately, is what a lot of the country and a lot of Latinos are hearing from Kansas, and we want to change it too, because we also talk to people who say, "Wow, nothing anti-immigrant," and we had people from all over especially the 5 states where those things have passed.
I agree.
We had them here last year, and they were saying, "Wow, how come nothing's passed in Kansas?" Well, because it doesn't represent the entire...
Here's where I would have concerns. If he tells me that I can't talk to you after this happens, then I would have problems. So,
And I want to see the discussion on this migrate federally. Immigration's a federal issue and should be a federal issue, and that's where the discussion should be taking place on it.